Ah, here we go. Here's our next episode of the Sweet and Sassy Show podcast. Jen Carpenter and Molly Lowe. Today, we're going to be talking about accountability and asking for help in entrepreneurship. I'm Jen Carpenter. I work with business owners and their employees to empower and protect their business and be able to help their employees stay more focused at work and be productive without having to worry about the unexpected things that we all think won't happen to us. I've also stepped into the world of what I call mind flow mastery coaching, and I am most passionate about helping people live their best life, be their best version of themselves by thinking differently. And I often say, thinking differently turns into knowing. Once you believe it and you think differently, it turns into knowing. And the amazing opportunities that have come my way since I've done that is just invaluable. I had another great thing happen to me in the past week that must have been attracted into my life. So I'm very excited to help people with that journey along the way. Molly Lowe, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, hello, all. Again, Molly Lowe. So excited to continue having these conversations with you guys, with my fantastic co host, Jen, who really is the leader of this show. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I am the LinkedIn queen. I help you to turn your LinkedIn presence and make money with it. Okay. Someone actually asked me last week, are you a LinkedIn influencer? And it really got me thinking. I'm like, oh, am I? I don't know. So, if you're looking to learn how to grow and accelerate your business using LinkedIn, I'm your girl.
I actually just got off a meeting with someone. I told him I would introduce him to you for just that if he's interested. So he may be reaching out and connecting. I've been connecting people here and there so that you can work with Molly to optimize your LinkedIn profile. It's a very important and powerful thing to have all of the things right. So yeah, I'm going to start with the accountability piece. So again, we talk often about whether that's, personally, professionally, as a woman in entrepreneurship and parenting, even, these things all come into play as our conversations evolve. What I teach too is all awareness. So self-awareness. I often talk about taking a look at what's really going on, moment to moment choices and having boundaries and expectations set for yourself and sticking to them to have integrity with yourself. So self-awareness, self-accountability is huge. It also, we look at daily, I talk about this often, reflecting upon what's going well, what's not going well on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly, quarterly basis, a yearly basis. Really finding a lot of power in the lessons learned each day. When things don't go as planned, you celebrate your wins, as I say, but the things that don't go well, everything is a lesson learned. So taking a look at what's going well, what's not going well, and making an action item from those lessons learned. When you make a decision, for example, this came up today, like, oh, I'll try to be at that meeting. There's no try, there's no doing. Just tell me yes or no, can you be at this meeting? And it's integrity with yourself. You don't have to please anyone else. Can you do this or can you not? Be very direct and assertive and clear. We talked about that recently too. So, as an example with that, don't tell me maybe you can do it. Just tell me yes or no. You can't, no big deal. And again, owning what works best for you. If it's not a good time for you to meet, that's a boundary. It's not a good time for you to meet. Don't flex that and waver from those influences if you don't need to, as an example. And then the other thing was you can kind of give your feedback on, I guess, all of this. Not just self-awareness, but having an accountability partner, whether that's a person in your business or personally that you talk to on a weekly basis and say, okay, this is what's going well, this is what's not, and meeting on a regular basis in your business or a friend, something like that, where you can bounce ideas off of. Talk about the conflicts or setbacks that you have, and then, okay, what is the action plan that I have to change this? And following up on that each week. Did you actually do what you said you were going to do? So personally, professionally, yeah, having an accountability partner to link arms with, and whether that's your coach or just someone else to meet with on a regular basis and keep you on track towards your goals, your vision, your values, what aligns for you, and stay on track.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you hit on all of the components that I wanted to share. I want
Excellent.
to just, yes, absolutely, right? We're always very aligned in that. Um, Interestingly enough, what I wanted to share in regards to accountability is aligned action, right?
Yes.
When you think about accountability, a lot of the times we take this from an approach of like, oh, I have to do things, right? And yes, there are some things where you will have to do things, but if you can do it from a perspective of how can I make this fun, creative, how can I do this with ease and simplicity? That's what aligned action means. And so I'm going to give you an example. So, of course, being the LinkedIn queen, I work with my clients a lot on outbound lead generation. That is something that is not necessarily fun. And if I can show them how to do lead gen 15 minutes every other day, hello, why would you not want to do it then? Because it's no longer from a place of drudging, of like, right? And so I
Yeah.
also totally agree with you that I think a lot of the times we think about accountability as, oh God, I hate doing this, but I have to do it. If you see it from a perspective of aligned action,
Yes.
then it becomes fun, easy, creative. How can you turn something as boring as lead generation into something that's easy, fun, and what I do is I gamify it, right? So I turn it into a game for myself on how can I find new leads on LinkedIn. And that's what I teach my clients, right? So I
Excellent.
love that you talk about that. And of course, when you have an accountability partner like a coach, right? Yes, not only are you getting the strategy, not only are you getting the cheer, encouragement, rah, rah, let's go, you can do this. It is all about that partnership to say, and guess what? Here's a fact.
Spicy nice.
Yeah,
Spicy nice.
absolutely.
Here it comes.
100%. Yeah. Did you do your lead gen this week? Why or why not? Right? Excuse me. So a
Yeah.
lot of that is
Yeah.
just much having the ability to, dare I even say, surrender your accountability to someone else to help you with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we're
Definitely.
all humans, and we are meant to be around other humans. So when you can get that partner, you go faster, farther, quicker.
Yes. 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 I like that you talked about having fun. Anything, it's much easier when you figure out how to make it fun. And lead gen in particular is a task that I've actually been working on assigning to somebody else because I don't get to it. But I like that you talked about a very specific action of 15 minutes every other day to make it happen. We often say, the things you're avoiding are the most important things that you need to be doing, whether that's video, the lead gen, this or that. Typically the things you're not doing are the most important things that you do want to do. Do you have something to
Absolutely.
add? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, funny story. Okay, you guys may think this is funny, but it's so true. I was totally resistive to LinkedIn when I started my coaching business.
Aha, interesting.
Yes. And I was like, I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. And my business coach was the one that said, if you are this resistive, what you resist persists. And
Yes,
secondarily,
yes,
if you resist it this much, it means you need to go there. You need to
yes,
explore it, right?
yes. Oh, this
Oh,
is great.
oh, I
Yes,
know. And
I love it.
if I didn't have my business coach to hold me accountable and to call me out like that, ugh,
You wouldn't
would
be
I
where
be
you
your
are
yeah,
today.
I would not be the
Oh,
LinkedIn queen that you
I
see today.
literally have chills. No jokes. I have goosebumps. So great to tie that in. And I often talk about too moment to moment choices, the power of one decision. You made that decision to listen, and here you are today, and that's your specialty. I love it. Something that goes with the fun as well, I've talked about before, when I wasn't doing things with my boundaries, my coach that taught me my mindset mastery program, she would want me to text her every time I cut off a physical therapy client because they were late. So to make it fun, I'd be like, hey, I cut off 2 people today. I don't and then I would tend to spend, 5 or 10 more minutes with them that was my time. And so when I would cut them off right at the end of their appointment and not give them 5 or 10 more minutes of my time, I celebrated my win by texting her. You also can say instead of like, "Oh, I have to do this," or "coulda, shoulda, woulda," it's "I get to." I'm sure you've heard that before. "I get to spend time with my kid at the doctor's office today." I get to do that. There's so many things that you avoid, procrastinate, you don't wanna do when you figure out how to make it more fun, I guess. Also then you can be like, "Okay, I get to do this today," instead of it being a negative experience. Anything else to add before we move on?
I'll just close with that piece saying, when you create that funness, it
Yeah.
also opens up the door for ease of gratitude, right?
Yes. Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
and we all know gratitude is the portal to more manifestation, more
Ah,
attraction,
yes.
like,
Yes.
attracting like for like. So the more that you can say, oh yeah, 15 minutes? I got that. 15 minutes. I mean, I lead gen when my daughter is in her cheerleading practice. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here lead genning,
Yeah.
right? Figure out different ways. You don't have to do it that. It doesn't have to be boring. And so fun allows for more gratitude. Gratitude allows for more attracting and manifestation of the same.
Your direct number one line to everything that you want is through gratitude affirmation. That's totally what I teach too. I had something else I was gonna add, but I'm gonna move on to the asking for help. I've always been, and I'm possibly true for you, many other people that I know, extremely independent. And so whatever it is, whether that was getting into entrepreneurship, learning things that were totally foreign to me 4 years ago, for that matter, and, in parenting, in personal relationships, anything. Asking for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't waste your time and energy figuring crap out on your own. One of the first components I teach in my coaching is you don't know what you don't know. Being receptive, how we receive information. Sometimes you do know things and maybe that's not possible for you and it's not realistic. You ask people who know what you want to know about. Do a little bit of your own research on the topic very briefly. Don't spend too much time wasting your time researching, analyzing. Like you talked about the gym shoes and this and that when we talked about the guy who was going to run. He was doing everything but running. Do a little bit of your own research and say, okay, who's an expert at this? Meet with this person instead. And then take what you get in the feedback and the lessons that you learned and use the bits and pieces that work for you. Recently and over the past couple years, I've had to learn you're going to get feedback. Sometimes it's unsolicited advice, sometimes it's feedback that you ask for. You may not agree with it, but choose to do with that information what suits you best. Not everything works the same for everybody. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for help. Don't waste your time and energy trying to figure things out on your own and use your intuition too. Like you could say somebody tells you to do this or do that. Trusting your intuition is actually, I ignored my intuition for a long time. Your intuition is 100% right. So when it goes to decision making, you weigh your benefits and risks, your pros and cons, but look at your intuition and say, if it tells you you should be doing this or you can do this or you want to, really, go with that. If you're wavering back and forth in a decision of implementing this process or doing this, doing that, should I take action on this piece or not? And in anything too, I'm like, okay, what's my action required with this? We don't have time to waste energy on things that aren't important. So, like, okay, you gave me this information. Do I really need to take action? What is the action step required? So, yeah, weighing your pros and cons, trusting your intuition, doing what you will with the help that you do ask for. So go ahead.
And again, I'm getting real spicy nice today. So I'm gonna call all of you guys out, okay? For those of you who are already connected with me on LinkedIn, okay, listen. When I say if you have a question, just nudge me and nobody takes advantage of that, that's not me. That's on you, right? And I get it. A lot of the times people are hesitant to ask questions, especially to coaches, because they, one, respect our expertise and our intellectual
Yes.
property. And so they want to,
Yes.
of course, trade value and whether it is reciprocated in kind in services
Yes.
or financial trade, which I get, right? But if there is a person like me who's like, hey, I went on live today, right? Hey, if you have a question about attraction marketing content and why your content isn't getting the traction you need, shoot
Yeah.
me a quick email.
Yeah.
Ask me the question. And people don't take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
The only person that you can then blame is yourself. Because if
Yes.
you truly seek help, and you're open to it, so many, especially coaches, right? And I'm making a very umbrella statement here, but I believe it. The coaches who are truly here to serve and help would never ever say, "Oh no, yeah, I'm not going to help answer that question for you," right? It's when it becomes an implementation perspective. It's when it becomes that, okay, when you ask, and that's our job as coaches to draw the line
Yes.
to say, hey, I can
Yes.
help you to do that. And in order to do that more effectively, let's hop on a discovery call, right?
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we are here in service, and so many people do not take advantage. I
Yeah.
know that I can always email you and say, Jen, I need to pick me up. My mindset is all over the place today. What's one thing that you do that I can apply today that I
Yeah.
can I can do this for me, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. You can reach out and say, Molly, I don't know, I've got a question about newsletters on LinkedIn. What do you think? I'm gonna answer that for you. And so I'm just calling it out there
Yeah.
that there's plenty of coaches like Jen and I who are here to help answer your questions, but you won't ask, and therefore we can't serve in a way. If we,
Yes.
if we don't know your question, how do we help?
I appreciate all of this, and it's funny because there's times I've thought about asking you a LinkedIn question via email, and I haven't reached out. So it's funny that you mentioned that. And I experienced this too several years ago. So I see it from the other perspective. I know people are afraid to ask a coach for help, and they value their time and respect them, like you said. But if someone's telling you flat out, I will give you the help when it comes to the time for that you need more help, they're going to hire you. That's the whole thing when we're talking about entrepreneurship and business too. So they're going to hire you. My business coach teaches give everything away. Give everything away. They're going to hire you for implementation. So whether that's a 6-month coaching program or my weekly accountability group, whatever fits you. Many people have different offers. So whatever fits the need that you have, but again, reciprocity and respect comes in too. Some people do take advantage of that. So, you can always ask the questions respectfully, get some answers, but definitely don't cross that line of, taking advantage of the support and guidance people do offer you that is outside of their programs and offers.
Amen to that.
Excellent. So I know we need to wrap up as well. This episode will be airing by the second Friday of next month. So I've got it right this time. Second Friday of every month is when the episodes come out. Please connect with Molly Lowe Lotus Mentoring on YouTube. I am Jen Carpenter, Secure and Savvy Solutions across all platforms. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Please give us a like and a comment on this video, and then connect with us on our YouTube channels. We definitely want to add more value to the people in our network and communities so more people can see what we're doing. So thank you all for your time today, and I hope you've enjoyed the Sweet and Sassy Show.